Okay. Don't tune out yet, but it's a motorcycle episode. This is a VFR800. This was the bike I was looking for back when I bought my VTR. Now, this one just stumbled into my life, and she's got a lot wrong with her. And I told a friend that I would fix it up and sell it for him so that he can move on to other motorcycles in the future. And he's too busy right now and just doesn't have the expertise to do this job. But I might be selling it to me. So we're gonna go and dig through this bike, fix all the things that have gone wrong with it while it's been sitting for the last 3 to 5 years. You'll notice a lot of old timers on this island aren't really sure about when things last ran. So first of all, we'll get this thing running, we'll get it cleaned up, we'll fix what's broken on it, and we'll change all the fluids out, and we'll see how she goes. And I may just buy this thing if Honey wants it. Honey, do you want this? Do you want this bike? VFR? Do you want the VFR? Do you want to go for a ride? You do? Oh, okay. Well, I guess she wants the VFR. Okay, well first we gotta fix it. Well, first things first, I got this pannier off. It's really disgusting inside because it's been sitting in a bush for 3 years. But starboard side pannier has a broken key in the lock, so the first thing we're gonna do, get some picks in there and try to get a broken chunk of key out of there. You gonna help? So we got the hatch open, modified these little pickers here. You see this one especially has a tiny little hook on it. And that you slide underneath the key section. I use this one to hold back some of the safety kind of latches that slide into place that maybe weather seal it or make it harder to lockpick, I'm not sure. And found an entire colony of ants in here. So we'll be evicting them and cleaning this out, but I now have 2 functioning panniers, which is great. Okay, so we took this thing out for a test run. It drives great, feels great, brakes are great, clutch is great, throttle response is fantastic. All of the kind of driving systems are working great. The chain is now totally smooth, but what is not smooth is our charging system, which is not charging. It's putting out a bit of current, but not enough to actually keep up with the systems on the bike. So it could be the charge regulator, which sits up here on the frame, or it could be the stator, which sits down here under the cowling. One or the other, or it could also just be the connectors. These connectors are really known for going. The whole charging system is known for a lot of problems. So we're gonna go diagnose it and then potentially order some parts. Let's get this fairing off. Alright, well, parts finally came in, so we've got a new stator here, a new rectifier, and a gasket for the stator. So let's pull that stuff out and swap into some new stuff, and hopefully everything runs great.
I'm so high, you so high. I'll be getting money till the day that I die. I'm so high, you so high. I'll be getting money till the day that
the bike is running, and we're gonna get to that in a second. Barry's here to help me illustrate the differences between the VTR and the VFR, because my heart's a little bit twisted about this VFR. We got further along the project and the fella who was fixing it for upped the price a little bit, and I don't want to sound like a cheap bastard, but he's asking like twice the market value for it. And I mean, it's a problem a lot of people have. They get very sentimental about the things that they've poured a lot of time and money into, and
especially after you fix it up.
Yes, and he's had it for years, and he paid a lot of money for it when he first got it, so I don't think I'm gonna end up owning this bike. But I will end up getting something different. I enjoy the VTR. I may keep it forever, but there's some differences, and we'll get into those differences in a second. But before we do, we're gonna talk about our new sponsor. Blue Eddy sent out, look at this, it looks just like the EB70S, but this is the EB3A. This is their little, you can't really tell, it's smaller, it's a lot smaller. So this is like half the capacity, but it's got a lot more of the stuff built in, and it's set up for portability. So it's got all the features that you expect EB70, but, and this is my favorite bit, the power brick is built into it. So when you charge this thing, you don't have to lug around a big brick. Like, I didn't show you guys the EB70S brick as much, I don't think, but it's quite large. It's almost as big as this, well, it's maybe a quarter of the size of this whole box. So being able to travel nomadically, especially on a motorcycle, you could fit this onto the back of a motorbike, and this would solve all your power problems if you were traveling for weeks on end and needed to edit videos and be in remote locations. You could charge this off the bike, you could charge it off solar panels, you could charge it off the brick on the wall, and it's just a single computer cable to go into it. Other noteworthy features, you still got your USB 100-watt connector for the USB-C. There's one of those instead of two of them. You've got your 3-amp DC 5 volts, and then the inverter is capped at 600 watts, which is quite a lot for this size form factor. Most of the battery packs at this size are about 300 watts. So if you're interested in a more portable version of the EB70S, check out the EB3A. Link is in the description. Been using this thing for quite a while now. Super, super handy, super useful, and light and portable. Really great. So we're gonna strap this to the back of the bike. We're gonna go for a test run, and we'll show you guys the differences between a V-twin and a V4. Nice opening carrying case, look at that. So small,
Oh,
so small.
oh baby.
Fits in there. Easy.
Oh yeah, daddy. Don't break the key off.
Yeah, don't break the key. So first thing about the VFR is she's fuel injected. So even though she has 200 less cc's than the VTR, that battery.
Good thing you got the Blue Eddy.
So the VFR has 110 ponies, so does the VTR, but how it delivers them is very different. That's ABS, so I can't even skid out in front of you. Looking at these two bikes side by side, strikingly similar bikes. The only major details is a little bit more fairing on the VFR, and you've got a slightly longer wheelbase. But in practice, what that does is it creates a much more comfortable ride. There's better suspension, there's fuel injection. The V4 delivers its torque and horsepower in an almost completely linear band, whereas the VFR hits you with a sucker punch right off the get-go and runs out of steam by about 7,000 RPM. Essentially, this is a much more refined version of what the VTR offers. But when it comes to a sport bike, I'm not sure that what I want is refined. All right, that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys for sticking around for a motorcycle video. This is like my therapy, it's my break from the boat project. I really need to be able to work and ride motorcycles or else I go insane. And we're at the insanity part of this project for sure. Like wrapping this up, very good chance I'm gonna lose my marbles entirely. Who's not losing their marbles and making good decisions? This EB3A right here, here's the size comparison. EB70S right there, EB3A right here. It's got almost all the features that the EB70 has, just less capacity and smaller. Really cute. Love this thing. I kind of use them interchangeably because they do almost all the same stuff. It's just the inverter's not quite as powerful and there's not quite as many outlets, but that's it. It's like the same thing. It even has the same wireless charger on top. So if you're interested in checking out anything from Blue Eddy, including the EB3A or the EB70S, the link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you, Blue Eddy, for sponsoring this episode. We'll get back to the boat in the next episode, okay? So chill. No big deal. Dog is drinking all the water on Earth right now.